U2, a quarter century on rock and roll's frontier. Making music and making history. Bono calls his condition rock star syndrome. In other words, having fun while doing nothing less than saving the world. On guitar, The Edge, rock and roll icon. Adam Clayton, bass player, who beat the occupational hazard of substance abuse. And Larry Mullen Jr., the heartthrob and one heck of a drummer. In the stadium, they rule a universe, the lights, the stage, the enormity, the roar. It reminded me of Jon Stewart's joke. The new pope emerging before a sea of worshippers. Stewart said he knew what the pope was thinking.
And as he stood there before the adoring multitudes, it was then that he realized, this is how Bono must feel.
Now he knows how you all feel. And that's what it feels like in here. Now I too know for a minute how you all feel. 130 million albums sold, so why keep going?
The sense that you can change the world. You know, rock and roll can change the world. You think, well, shut up. But it really can. Music can certainly change the temperature of a room, or get people, you know, excited, or leave home, leave their job, you know, fall in love. You can lend a hand in return for grace.
They have seen each other through marriages, funerals, highs and lows. Today, most of them have children of their own. Kids give you advice?
I remember playing some of the early mixes of the album to my daughter, who's in her teens, and she said, Dad, you know, you should listen to the radio more. You know, like, I'm not sure this is really, you know, going to go over.
You said one of the biggest changes is that when people say that they like your looks, you're encouraging it. You no longer.
Well, there was a time where I would discourage it and I would go, no, I'm not interested in that. You know, that's about the music, man. And now I'm going, no, forget the music. It's just no.
Who's the most unpredictable?
I think Adam, certainly musically speaking, is the most unpredictable.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Naturally avant-garde, or Adam.
Here's what somebody said about you: that you are the most watchful of the sheep who stray out of the herd.
I don't know who you were talking to. That's very, very strange language to use. It's very nice.
Because Adam's been through a lot in his personal life and come out the other end of it, he can kind of spot people as they're about to walk off the side of a very tall building and say, I wouldn't go there.
Do you? Do you spot it a lot? And do you find yourself saying, boy, I was there?
If people ask, you know, that tends to be my position.
Everybody has tried, you know, has poured petrol over their head and tried to set fire to themselves in this band in some fashion.
For Bono, there is fire in the political and the personal. Did you know that you were going to write about your dad?
Think you've got the stuff?
Is it the phrase first or the feeling first?
I'm trying to think. I might have had the feeling and looking for the phrase. I've written a few songs about him. He's a big influence on my life, and I've been fighting with him ever since I arrived on this earth. And, you know, standing over his grave and realizing he's not there to fight with leaves me the most bereft in a way. A working class Dublin man, if you can imagine, but just loving like opera, you know, listening to it in our house and conducting our stereo with my mother's knitting needles. And
he says his father's death gave him a new voice.
Edge plays this beautiful guitar thing, and then I go sing. You're the reason I sing. You're the reason the opera is in me.
Are you still going to be doing it when you're like these guys, the combined age of 242?
There's not many bands that can stay up there with the Rolling Stones.
But it's still hard work. Nobody gets to give you credit for that.
It's not.
Yes, this is, first of all, sheer stamina on the road and doing this every
We are
night.
spoiled, rotten rock stars. We live like princes. I think what's changed the most is actually not us so much as the whole thing of rock and roll and music was about politics. It was about getting engaged. It was activism. It was a vital, potent form. And that's, I think, now less true. You know, what we're doing
is trying to keep that going, that sense of what music should be about.
There's a lot to be done.
There's a new wave of rock and roll coming, and we want to be part of it.
And you want to be part of what's coming up with them.